So hello everyone and welcome along to No Pain No Narain 2018, Season 7 of the No Pain No Narain. It's basically the end of season sprint championship we do towards Christmas time, just as a bit of fun, not majorly serious, but it is up for a TGP bronze medal. We're also going to be announcing all the end of season awards that have been voted on by the TGP drivers over the course of the last couple of weeks and announce who's won them. I'm going to be joined by Joe Sayer tonight. So how are you tonight, Joe?
I'm very well, thank you, Owen. I'm very much looking forward to this sprint championship. We've got 10 tracks this evening, all sprint races, 3 laps each, unless there are any short tracks on the calendar. There'll be 5 laps, so it's set to be a good night of fun, fast-paced action.
Yep, so we're just waiting for everyone to be ready to go for the first race of the evening, which looks like it's going to be taking place in Australia. It'll be 3 laps and all races will take place in the modern F1 cars, reduced vehicle damage, dynamic weather, and the car setups will be fixed so everyone will have the same setup. Random grids will be used, so no real idea of what the grid will be before we actually get the 5 lights going tonight, will there, Joe?
No idea at all. Ideally, for our spectators, we'll see the slower TGP2 guys at the front and the faster TGP1 guys at the back. That will create some spectacle, I think.
Yes, definitely indeed makes something a bit more interesting. Like to see the quicker guys try and battle their way against the slower guys. But some of the TGP2 lot ain't so slow themselves, are they, Joe?
Not at all. Let's see who we got. We've got Mr. Chiapelli. He won the TGP2 title just less than a week ago, just last Wednesday. We've got Dan Scar. He was a rookie last season. He impressed in his debut season, managed to pick up a win.
Yeah.
And
so
I can't see who else because the list of drivers has vanished from my screen.
Yeah.
As we prepare for the first race at Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne, very interesting circuit. Been on the F1 calendar in real life since '96, I believe, around Albert Park. So, been on the calendar a while. Street circuit, well, park/street circuit as well. Not like most of the more modern street circuits where there's permanent sections to it. This is all street circuit in a park. So let's see how we get on here in Australia. Let's see who picks up the first victory of the night in No Pain No Narain, and we'll see what the grid is when we get up there. So
it's looking a bit grey on at the circuit.
Yeah, looking a bit grey indeed, as Joe points out. Looks overcast, but don't look like it's going to rain. It'll be dynamic weather, so it's probably going to be only, well, there's no chance of really changeable weather. It'd be surprising if there is in the 3-lap race. It suddenly just goes to monsoon.
I'll be impressed.
Yeah, I'll be very impressed. But I doubt it will happen here in Melbourne for the first race of the night at Albert Park. Everyone's just making a final few tweaks, ready to go for the first race of the evening, getting a quick cup of tea, downing that quick and getting ready to go. Just waiting for one more guy and we'll be ready to go here in Australia. So, the 5 lights are coming on and we've got Basil on pole, ready to go. 5 lights around and we are away here in... Oh, I'm trying to think. Australia, there we go. I remembered speaking about it for about the past 30 seconds, but remember, we're into turn 1, side by side from a couple of cars. Oh, it's been an accident already. Someone's round in the house. It means Johners is through, and there's a Renault spinning. Oh, it's chaos happening down further in the field, reminiscent of TGP2 in Brazil, but not quite to that level of extent. We'll go to the front now as Johners is in the lead, Dan Scar is in second, and the 2 Toro Rossos are battling side by side so far.
Yeah, it was Bazza on pole, side by side with Breezer into turn 1. They collided and went off. That's allowed Johners to get through. Mike Noon and Breezer in the Haas, as you mentioned, they were also involved in the incident on the run down to turn 4.
Yeah, as we see, Martin's all over the back of Bazza, the other Force India, that's battling over P5. A bit of a queue behind P5 at the moment. Johners has taken about a second lead so far in this race. We've got Paul having a little sniff on Martin, but doesn't quite get the move done. Heading through this far chicane, Basil runs wide. What's Martin going to do? He's going to head down the inside and he gets the move done, and he's up into P5 in this race. Sean is leading, Dan Scar second, LMC Josh is third, Roy is in fourth, Jovial Mancy, and then Martin rounds out the top 5 so far in this race. Anything action that you've noticed further down the field, Joe?
Not that I can see. They're all pretty much in single file at the moment. LMC Josh is the big winner so far. He's gained 8 places up onto the podium.
Yeah. John Piops in with the fastest lap of the race so far, 1 minute 29.1, but you would expect that starting near the front. 8 tenths is his lead so far in this race, but the main battle is everyone's stuck behind Bazza in P6, one of the TGP2 guys, sitting ahead of three TGP1 drivers at the moment, and Mr. John's lurking in the background as well if there's any mistake. So We have Bazza defended off, has a little slide. Paul's going to try and go round the outside of him through turn 4. Will he get the move done into 5? Oh, they've made contact, and that lets the Ferrari through.
Oh.
Yeah, both of them are through. Mr. John's lurking in the background as well. Is he going to sneak up the inside as well? No, not quite. Bazza slots in back in P9, but he's lost 3 places, maybe 4 in a minute. John's having a look now. Mr. John up the inside. Is that going to be 4 places? That's 4 places in about half a lap. Not very good from Bazza at all there.
It's a disaster from Bazza, as you say. Lost 3 or 4 places there, and he started on pole just a lap ago, so dropping like a stone.
Yeah, meanwhile, further up the field, we've got Dan Scar and LMC Josh battling for P2 in this race. The Mercedes versus the 2 Toro Rossos that are sitting on the back of him. LMC Josh going to sneak his way up the inside. They both run wide, and that lets one of the Toro Rossos through. And is Roy going to follow him through round the outside into the penultimate corner onto the final lap of this race? It's a very short race indeed. Only 3 laps, a lot of action. That's the main point of this. Short action-packed races for your entertainment. So Jean is setting the fastest lap of the race in 1:23.6 as they head on to the final lap. He's got a bit of a gap, about 2 seconds over LMC Josh. Any other battles further in down the field? Yes, I can see that James O'Collett is having a battle with Paul over P6. So what's he going to do? Heading round turn 3 now. They're going to go round turn 3. Does he get the move done? No, not quite. So
I did see Dom Smith briefly get past Barry, but Barry's managed to get the place back for 10th position.
Yeah, you'll be my eyes and ears at the lower end of the field. I think is the best way of putting that. While I try and focus as much as I can up the front of the field. We've got James O'Connor sitting all over the back as well. But Martin has got past Dansgar and he's up into P4 in this race. So Martin's up into P4, Dansgar back down to P5. But he's the top of the TGP2 runners from the previous season. So that's putting TGP2 on the map so far in this race. We'll be announcing the first award towards the end of this race, and we're going to go on board with Sean as he heads round the final couple of corners now. He's commanding this 3-lap race around Australia so far, heading towards the penultimate corner. Just got 2 corners to go, down into 3rd gear, runs a little bit wide, but he's going to come around the final corner and take the victory here in Australia. John wins the first race of the night in Australia. It's going to be LMC Josh coming home in 2nd. Then we have Roy in 3rd, Martin in 4th, Dan Scar goes up to 4th actually. Martin picks up a podium thanks to Roy's penalties. Then we have Paul in 6th, Dan 7th, James O'Connor 8th, Mr. John, then Bazza, Dom Smith in 11th, Red Bull Kim in 12th, Chiapelli in 13th, Elite Shots rounding out the field. We've got a bit of time to wait for him in P14, and then Breeze is going to come in P15. So Joe, can you remind me of the point system for tonight's races?
I believe we're running the official F1 point system this evening. So 25 points for Johners for the victory, 18 for 2nd, 15 for 3rd, 12 for 4th, and then we've got 10, what was that, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, maybe?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. So you got up to P5, didn't you, with 10 points, didn't you?
Yes.
So yeah, 8, yeah, it goes down in 2s until you get to 9th and 10th, and then it's only it's 2-1, 9th and 10th respectively. So just waiting for Breezer across the line now.
What is he doing?
Yeah, he's having a bit of fun. He's not picking up any points in this race. I think he's just having a bit of fun at the back of the field, doing a few donuts for the crowd, impressing the Australian fans as he comes crawling around the penultimate corner, the final corner even, coming across the line, just waiting for him to finish, and we'll be able to announce. Yeah, go on Breezer. Waiting for him to finish, and then we can go and announce the first award of the night after we do the results for the first race. So full rundown will be coming up shortly, and then we'll announce the first award of the night, which will be Gamer of the Year, I believe, Joe?
It is indeed. So this is for the driver who has had the most successful year in terms of TGP racing.
Okay, that's fair enough. So quick rundown of the results. Sean in his Force India wins. Then it's Josh in 2nd, Northants in 3rd, then Danscar 4th, Jovial Manassi aka Roy in 5th with a 3-second time penalty. Then we have Paul in 6th, Dan the Man in 7th, James O'Connor in 8th, Mr. John in 9th, and Basil rounding out the top 10. So that means they pick. So John, good start to the night, 25 points so far, Joe.
Yeah, he's probably one of the more competitive drivers, I think that's fair to say, in TGP, so he'll be extremely pleased to get his night off with a win.
Yep. So we're going into the gap between the first and second race now. So we'll announce the Gamer of the Year. So who are the nominees, Joe?
We had VSR Odems, he won a TGP1 title. We got the Soft Cop. He had a very good year. He had the TGP1 Drivers title, a Constructors title, as well as a TGP Cars title. And we had Sean McGurk, who won the TGP FIFA League.
Yeah. So, right. Odems, it might be you. The Soft Cop, it might be you. And Sean McGurk, it also might be you. And the winner is, drum roll please, Joe Sayer. Softy is the winner of Gamer of the Year. Congratulations, Softy. You pick up the first award of the night and winning Gamer of the Year by some margin. 84% of the vote went to Softy, so the clear winner. Congratulations, Softy, and hopefully you'll do something with your celebration tonight. As we get ready for the second race of the evening, it is taking place at Bahrain Short, so this will be a 5-lap race, Joe. What is your theory on what will happen in Bahrain Short?
I'm thinking some drivers may forget that, or may not even realise we're doing the short layout, which would cause carnage on the opening lap, which is, I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, it could be very interesting indeed. 5 laps around Bahrain Short. Jean takes the lead after the first race, but let's see how we get on. It'll be a very different layout. Cuts off straight after turn 3, I believe. Little straight. And then it's onto the back straight where the first DRS zone is, I believe. Would you class it as first DRS zone or second one? I'm not really sure what you'd class it as. But we're getting ready to go in Bahrain anyway, aren't we, Joe?
We are indeed. Dry conditions, as you would expect, in the desert.
Yeah, definitely dry conditions. Ready to go for 5 laps of the Bahrain Short Circuit. Can the Force India Sean retain his lead in the title fight for No Pain No Narain? So the lights are on. We've got Mr. Chiapelli and Mr. John on the front row. 5 lights are on. And we are racing here in Bahrain. Looks like a decent start for most guys. Top TGP1 runner was Paul, so he should get good run. There's a crash at the back. 3 guys, Martin, Roy and James O'Connor that looked like, but we'll continue round turn 1. There's a spin for someone. I'm not sure who that was. I think... Who was it?
That was Paul McGinnis in his Sauber.
Yeah. A lot of people forgetting that we're doing the course. Yeah, a lot of people forgetting we're doing the short course here as they go wide, coming through that corner onto the back straight. There's a car off in the wall, but Chiapelli's picked up a 1.3 second lead, and it's all TGP2.
And Paul's round again. Paul is out the race. Sorry, he's lost his front wheel. He's hit a Haas. Yeah. I think that is Breezer, and that's disaster for Paul. And in the background, his teammate Elite Shots. He didn't realise it was the short circuit, and he's also out the race. Yeah.
So LMC Josh got a great opportunity here so far. Currently second in the standings, but he is the top TGP1 driver so far in this race. 5 laps around this short circuit, and he takes P3 as we were speaking. Jonas is in 5th. He's hoping to get a ground on LMC Josh and maintain his lead. But Mr. John's coming back at him actually, heading into turn 1, isn't he, Joe?
Yeah, here he comes side by side, wheel to wheel. He manages to match LMC Josh braking wise, and he's pulled ahead. But here comes LMC Josh round the inside and holds on to 3rd place for the time being.
Yeah, on board with Jean now, onto the back straight. We'll see how this Force India works. Heading on to the back straight, round the outside. There's a bit of debris, massive debris on the back straight there. Everyone seems to be running over. Is John going to try and go around the outside of Mr. John? No, he can't. Runs wide, and Dan the Mad sneaks up the inside and gets P5 off him. Mr. Chiapelli, though, commanding out to a 2-second lead so far in this race, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a very solid drive from Chiapelli. What we've come to expect after the most recent TGP2 season, a 2-second lead over Baza, also TGP2. So TGP2 drivers leading the way in this race.
Yeah, TGP2 drivers showing themselves proud so far. 1-2 so far in this race, but there's still 3 laps to go. We've got Dan the Man making a move on Mr. John. I think he gets the move done. Yes, he does. Well, they're side by side. We're going to go on board with John now. Oh, and Mr. John's clipped Dan. Dan is in the wall. No.
We've got John looking to 7 up the inside of Mr. John into turn 1.
Yeah,
and he's made the move stick.
Yeah, good move there from Jean. Up into P4 in this race, and now he's going to try and get LMC Josh and get up a few more positions. LMC Josh is closing in on the back of Baza now for P2. Anything happen majorly lower down the field, Sean? Joe?
John? Not that I can see at the moment. We're quite spread out. We've got Martin in 9th. He's 3 seconds back from the car ahead. Red Bull Kim 7 seconds behind him.
Yeah.
5 cars out in the opening 3 laps. I was expecting some drama, but not quite to that scale.
No, definitely not indeed. almost matching some unnamed event from the other day as we head down towards the final corner with LMC Josh, and he's coming up to the back of Bazza. He's surely going to be able to get P2 in this race, but they're both clawing in on Mr. Chiapelli with 2 laps to go, aren't they?
They are indeed. The gap is down to 1.2 seconds to Chiapelli now. Yeah. Hopefully they don't hold each other up too much and they'll be able to reel him in.
Yeah, definitely hoping not to hold each other up. Bazza's now been overtaken by MC. Oh, pardon me, sorry there. Bazza's been overtaken by LMC Josh now, so he's up into P2 in this race. Bazza down to P3, and let's see if LMC Josh can start clawing in on the reigning TGP2 champion. It's one of the quick guys from TGP1, race winner in TGP1, I believe, Josh, this season, versus race winner and champion in TGP2 and in TGP cars, actually, Chiapelli. He has picked up that solitary victory in the wet at Long Beach. So
it didn't flash up on our timing screens, but I have just seen Dan Scarr overtake Dom Smith in the second DRS zone. It was a very clean manoeuvre.
Yeah, Dom Smith dropping
7th place.
Yeah, Dom Smith dropping down to 8th place. Dan Scarr up into 7th. Still a 2.5 lead for Chiapelli as they approach the final lap of the race here in Bahrain. Not quite under the lights like the Grand Prix is in real life, but still in very dark conditions. Might even be... Would you say that's sunrise, Joe?
It's difficult to tell. I'm boring on sunset.
Yeah, it's definitely either sunrise or sunset. Yeah, I'd agree. Actually, it's sunset. Actually, so just at the start of what the Grand Prix would be in real life, it looks like Chiapelli is most likely going to come home with this race victory. But the main question is, can Jean overtake Bazza on this final lap? Into the penultimate corner he goes, down the inside. Jean, I think he's going to get the move done, and he's up into P3. But we better keep an eye on Mr. Chiapelli, who looks like he's going to take the second victory of the night in No Pain No Narain Season 7. Round the final corner he comes, onto the main straight, and Mr. Chiapelli for TGP2 wins.
We've got Bazza going side by side with Jonas.
Yep.
Jonas manages to stay ahead for the podium.
Yeah, so John in 3rd, retaining his lead in the championship by 4 points after this race. We've got Dan Scarr in 6th, Mike Noon in 5th even. We'll go quickly run down the order properly. Just waiting for a few more guys to finish this race. Red Bull Kim, we've got Breezer still to finish. He's a lap down, so he's having a bit of mare again in this race. Let's see where he is. He's just come around the final corner, so we won't be waiting as long this time round for him to finish. But he's going to come home just outside the points in P11. And after this race, we'll announce our second award of the night, Joe, which I believe is... Let me just find it. If you can find it quicker, that'd be great. Team of the Year.
It'll be Team of the Year.
There we go. I got there eventually. So here are the full results. Mr. Chiapelli wins for Renault. LMC Josh is in 2nd. Then we've got John is in 3rd. Bazza 4th. Mike Noon in 5th. Then we have Dan Scarr 6th. Mr. John in 7th. Dom Smith in 8th. Northants in 9th. And Red Bull Kim rounding out the point scorers. A lot of DNFs in that race, Joe.
There was indeed. How many were there all together? At least 5. It was 5. We've got Dan the Man, James. Their teammates are both Ferraris, both Saubers. Disappointing for them. And TGP1, former champion Roy, in the Toro Rosso.
Yeah. So, getting ready to go back to the screen, and we'll announce the nominees for Team of the Year. So, who are the nominees, Joe?
We have got Jonas and Matt at Renault in TGP1. They were Constructors Champions. We've got TGP2 Constructors Champions, Jack and myself from a couple of seasons ago. James and Dan at Ferrari in TGP1. They didn't win the title, but they showed excellent teamwork throughout the season and outperformed themselves, you could say, and clinched 2nd place in the championship. And we've also got Jack Pearson and his kettle for making a fine cup of tea for his family all year long.
Yeah, and get ready with the drum rolls, please. Joe, say it. The winner is... It is James and Dan, so congratulations James and Dan for your TGP1 Season 30 results. You have got Team of the Year, so congratulations with that, the pair of you. And they're both in this lobby actually, so they're both here teaming up at Ferrari again, I believe. So that's great to see for the Team of the Year, Joe.
Hopefully that'll be some consolation for their double DNF in that last race.
Yeah, definitely should be some consolation. As you can see on screen now, we can actually see the point standings. So Sean is leading by 4 points over LMC Josh. Mr. Chiapelli is 3rd on 25. Then we have Dansgar in 4th and Northants Martin rounding out the top 5, Joe. So, any theories for the next race in Spain?
I can't seem to remember. I can't remember who won here in TGP2. I seem to remember. I think it might have been Chiapelli. So he would be in 3rd place in the championship. We could well see him move up into the top 2 after this event.
Yeah. One to watch out for in this race. Once again, remind everyone it's random grids tonight in No Pain No Narain Season 7. No Pain No Reindeer even, I should say, since it is Christmas time. So getting ready to go for the Catalunya circuit. 3 laps around this circuit. Quite a short circuit lap time wise. So it's going to be shorter than... Where were we at? Oh, Albert Park. That was it, the first race. Shorter than there. Let's see how we get on here. So at the moment, just to point out, it's 1 victory each for TGP1 and TGP2, 2 drivers. Who do you think is going to win this one, Joe? A TGP1 or TGP2?
It's going to be close. I think if it's going to be TGP2, I think it's going to be Chiapelli. TGP1, you can't rule out Jonas at all as the championship leader. So I think hopefully we might see a good strong fight between Jonas and Mr. Chiapelli.
Yeah, that'd be good to see. LMC Josh there just lurking in the background as well. Gains and points on John is going into this race. So we're getting ready to go for round 3 here in Spain. Just waiting for the drivers to make a final few tweaks. Not to their setups, but just to anything else they need to do before the race.
Do you think Breeze will manage to finish this race? He's finished last both times.
Yeah, he's finished last both times. 5 lights are on. I think he could as we head ready to go here in Spain. And we are away here in Spain. Going to have a good start here. Nice clean start so far by the looks of it. Let's see. James O'Connor slips in behind of Roy. We've got Mr. Chiapelli trying to go around the outside of James O'Connor. Does he quite make it stick? There's a Force India round. Is that Northants or is that
Martin?
John? It's Martin round. Martin
John
is
currently
round.
side by side with Mr. John for 5th position. Side by side, no, he's dropped back. He's dropped behind Mr. John. So John is currently in 6th, but he's gained 2 places off the start, our championship leader.
Okay, so gained a good couple of positions so far. At the moment, there's 3 TGP2 drivers and 2 TGP1 drivers ahead of him, but he is crucially ahead of 2nd place in the championship, LMC Josh, by a couple of positions at the moment. So there's a spin. James O'Connor's round. Make that 1 TGP1 driver in front of Sean and in the way.
Oh, Breeze is in there as well. I don't know what happened to Breeze, but he almost collected James O'Connor's Ferrari.
Yep, so Breezer finds himself in that wall. He's had a bit of a struggle tonight, and now there's a queue behind Mr. Chiapelli so far in this race. So let's see how that gets on here. Got to go on board with Mr. John now. He's 3rd in this queue of about 4 or 5. Well, it's most of the field, isn't it, Joe?
Indeed, we've got Chiapelli all the way down to at least Mike Noon in 9th place. It's going to be very close on the Van Sound one.
Yeah, meanwhile, the start lap 2, Roy has got a 2.5 second lead so far as Chiapelli gets a little bit of a gap onto the straight. So that means that Mr. John is looking for a move on Dansgar, potentially going up into P3 here in No Pain No Narain race 3. Down the inside, sends it up the inside, runs wide, cuts across the curb, takes the speed bumps, but he doesn't concede the position. He stays in front, but looks like the Dansgar all over the back of him. They're side by side going into turn 4. How's that outcome? Dan goes in front and Jean's going to sneak up the inside as well. LMC Josh is thereabouts as well. So Mr. John losing a fair few places in a couple of corners. Gets pushed wide there by Mr. John. Going to go down to Mr. John, see what's going on now with him. Side by side, 2 side by side battles going on, and then Paul's joined in the action as well, Joe.
Yeah, it's getting very, very close. John has climbed up to 3rd, and now he's closing in on Mr. Chiapelli. This is the battle I said I wanted to see. And who's that?
Speaking of
Mr. John's out of the
Mr.
race.
John, it's Mr. John. He's gone round. Mr.
And we've
John.
got Paul McGee out as well.
So they try to go side by side, Ryan Camp, so that's never a good idea. And they both ended up in the wall and paid the price for it in this race. So that means that Jovial Manatee is leading 2.9 seconds ahead, going on to the final lap. Got Chiapelli in 2nd. John is in 3rd, Dansgar 4th, and then LMC Josh rounding out top 5 with Mike Nood all over the back of him actually in this race, battling for P6.
Mike Noon got through on Dan the Man at this very same place last lap. Can he gain another position so far? He's got Dansgar and LMC Josh ahead of him. This is sitting and waiting at the moment as Dansgar and LMC Josh maybe have a bit of contact. But
They did have a
managed to
bit of
keep it on the
contact there. I was
circuit.
on board with Mike Noon watching that. They did touch. Mike Noon tried to take advantage but couldn't do it around the outside of turn 3. And Dan's going to try and take advantage from all of that and sneak up the inside of Mike there. But this is the main battle so far in this race. We've got 4 cars battling over P4 in this race. Danskar getting hassled and harried. LMC Josh has got past him. We've got Danskar hassled and harried by Mike Noon now as they go head up towards Campster Corner now. Roy's got a 2.1 second lead, so he looks like he's most likely going to pick up victory in the third race. There'll be 3 different winners, 2 TGP1 and 1 for TGP2 so far as we head towards the closing corners in this race. So let's go on board with Roy. He's just got a few corners to go in this race. Heading around the last couple of corners now. Still a battle going on, so you keep an eye on that, Joe, as we watch Roy coming round the final corner to pick up victory in the third race of the night, making it 2 victories for TGP1 drivers and picking up a victory. Mr. Chiapelli comes home second. Johners is going to come home third. Then we have LMC Josh, Danskar, Mike Noon in 6th, Dan the Man 7th, Dom Smith in 8th, Red Bull Kim 9th, and Elite Shots in 10th. Northant's going to come home 11th, Bazza in 12th, and then Breezer once again bringing up the rear of the field. So what did you make of that one, Joe?
That was an exciting race. John has finished half a second behind Chiapelli. He didn't quite get the battle I wanted to see. Mike Noon had a huge moment. His rear end stepped out at turn 12 in that final sector, and Dan the Man almost took advantage, but Mike Noon, very good driving, holding it together.
Right, so everyone's crossing line. We'll have a quick roundup of the results and then we'll announce our third award of the night, which is Moment of the Year. So Roy takes home the victory in his Toro Rosso. Then we have Mr. Chiapelli in 2nd, John is in 3rd, LMC Josh in 4th, Danskar in 5th, Mike Noon in 6th, Dan the Man in 7th, Dom Smith in 8th, Red Bull Kim 9th, Elite Shots coming home in 10th. Then we have Martin 11th, Bazza in 12th, Breezer in 13th, and a few DNFs to round out the field. Joe.
Back-to-back DNFs for 6 times TGP1 champion James O'Connor and TGP2 champion Paul McGee. They will be looking to kick-start their night at the next race, which I believe is Canada.
Well, you've got a sneak peek at the calendar, haven't you, Mr. Sayer? The man with all the intel.
Knowledge.
Yeah, all the intel there. So we are going to announce the third award of the night, which is Moment of the Year. So would you like to please announce the nominees, Joe?
I can indeed. We've got Phil making a stunning double overtake on Paul and Martin at Bahrain in TGP1. We've got Bird Poo falling on Ginger Andy's camera during the TGP2 live stream. We've got, just from a couple of weeks ago, a 6-car pile-up on the opening lap in TGP2 at Brazil. We've got the safety car crashing in front of Red Bull Kim in one of his career mode races. We've got in-game fog completely obscuring my view as I was trying to broadcast a TGP Cars event. And we've got yourself falling through the floor in a TGP1 race. That sounds exciting.
Oh yeah, it was. I remember that in Austria actually. Just a lot of lag, and I clipped the back of someone, just fell completely through the floor in game glitch. Not very much what I wanted, and I got a damaged front wing from it as well. So, drum roll please, Joe Sayer, as we announce the winner of Moment of the Year. And the winner is the 6-car pile-up in TGP2 in Brazil. I was pretty sure that was going to win when I did the voting for my votes for the award itself. So, a 6-car pile-up on the opening lap in Brazil. You can find that somewhere on the TGP2, on the TGP Series timeline, at TGP Series on Twitter, I believe. You should be able to find it on the timeline somewhere if Dom has done his job and tweeted it out. So, getting ready for Canada, Joe. Any expectations for this race?
Well, it's going to be a carnage potentially into the final corner, that chicane. We've seen many DNFs tonight already. Fast-paced action all evening. So the drivers, the adrenaline's running high. They will be keen to perform well and see themselves rise up the table.
Yep. Is there any chance you can look at the comments for the live stream, Joe? Can you access that, or will it cause too much of an issue?
I'm on YouTube. I will sort that out imminently.
Yeah. I'm going to quickly run through the point standings as we head into the 4th race of the night. We've got Sean leading by 7 points over LMC Josh in 2nd. Mr. Chiapelli maintaining his 3rd place. Got Jovial Manatee up in 4th. And then Danskar rounding out the top 5 on 30 points. As we get ready to go for 3 laps of the Montreal circuit, the circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Canada. So we're flying through these races. We're going to be doing so. Only 3-lap races, 5 laps on the short circuits. So Very interesting indeed. So, let's see how we get on here in Canada.
I've got the comments here. It won't let me scroll through them for some reason, but I can see the most recent ones. We've got TGP1 champion Softcop, can't be here tonight, but he is spectating and was loving the carnage in Bahrain Shore and in the last race.
Yeah, I bet he was. But congratulations again, Softy, if you're still watching. Game of the Year, congratulations to you and all the other award winners so far announced tonight here, as we have a sunset or sunrise. Once again, the weather is confusing me. The sun is definitely confusing me so far tonight, Joe. Can you have any ideas?
I'm going to want to say sunset again, just because of the pinkiness in the sky.
Okay, that's fair enough. We've got the lights on. 5 lights are on. Dom Smith and Mike Noon will start us off here in this race as we scroll up towards, I think, there? Yeah, that'll do. Right, going round the first couple of corners now, getting a bit chaotic. Going to go up towards Dom Smith. So Mike Noon takes the lead. Dom Smith is in second. James O'Connor's third. Mr. John is in fourth, being overtaken by, well, that is a sea of cars there battling for fourth, fifth, sixth. All stuck behind Sean. Martin's been put in the wall by LMC Josh. As they head round towards the end of Sector 1, there's a yellow flag. Can you enlighten us on that yellow flag, Joe?
I'm not too sure myself, to be honest. I didn't see anyone go off. We saw Martin get pushed in the wall. I think that was LMC Josh. Martin had just been very close with his teammate through turns 3 and 4. But they're both managed to survive. As Don Smith's gone off, he's dropping back now. Yeah,
he's made a mistake coming through that quick chicane, and that means Johners and LMC Josh have both snuck past, and LMC Josh tried to dive. John is into the hairpin. That means Mike Noon is leading, James O'Connor's second, and this is the battle for the final podium spot at the moment between Johners and LMC Josh, but they are closing in on the back of James O'Connor, heading into the chicane where the infamous Wall of Champions is. Is there going to be any victims into this wall this time round? No, there isn't, but they're side by side.
We do have LMC Josh side by side with Johners coming up into turn 1.
Oh,
Johners turns in.
They've made contact.
Wheel to wheel.
Push.
LMC Josh manages to keep it on the circuit.
Yeah, been kept onto the circuit. Loses a little bit of ground, but he's going to be able to fight another day. No harm, no foul there from LMC Josh. A little bit of argy-bargy, but that's kind of expected in No Pain No Narain. These very short races where you have to get your elbows out very early on and just fight for every position, because if you lose a position, you're kind of stuffed then. It's very hard to gain a position back in this kind of format, isn't it, Joe?
It is indeed. I know we're supposed to remain impartial, but I do hope LMC Josh can make some sort of move on Johners. We don't want to see our championship leader putting out too much of a lead at the top.
No, definitely do not want to see that already, indeed. LMC Josh still all over the back as they head down the back straight. This is the main battle on circuit. Can you take us through anything happening further down the field, Joe?
Well, we just had Dan Scott pushing Gaza around the hairpin. Gaza almost spun, but he's managed to hold on to it, and then we've got Dan Scott coming alongside him. Will he get alongside by the time he reaches the chicane? No, he doesn't. He pulls out of it.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Josh looks like he's going to take P3. He's down the inside, same thing's happening again. And John has done the exact same move again, pushed him a little bit wide on the apex of 2. And it means LMC Josh maintains behind as we're on the final lap of this race. Mike Noon has picked up a time penalty, so that might mean he doesn't secure victory in this race. And James O'Connor is only half a second behind him so far.
John is only 2 seconds behind, so that's a 3-second penalty that will promote John's up to second place as well. And Mr. John's out for the second race running. Yeah, Mr.
John's out. LMC Josh has given a little kiss there to John, and he's cut the circuit, but he's gained the position anyway from Johners. That was a little kiss on the back. I think he got a bit angry with the way Johners is dry, and Johners has just ploughed into the back of him. I think his head's gone, isn't it, Joe?
It's only fun, boys. It's only fun. We've got elite shots. He's ignored some sort of warning. He's got a penalty, but he's down in ninth. Here we've got Johners pulling to the outside of LMC Josh. Superior speed, and he's going to get moved on before the chicane.
Yeah, he had the DRS there, but it means James O'Connor is going to pick the victory up in this race. James O'Connor wins, Mike Noon second, Johners is going to come home third. Then we have LMC Josh, Northants in fifth. Roy's going to come home in sixth position. Then we have Dan Scar, followed by Bazza. Lead shots in ninth, and Dom Smith rounds out the points, doesn't he? Yes, he does. No, Chiapelli does, thanks to penalties. But a lot closer that race. They're here in Canada, wasn't it, Joe?
It was indeed. We just saw Chiapelli there. It looked like Don was slowing down on the line, the Benno teammate. I don't know whether he was trying to let Luca through or whether they had crossed the line, but Chiapelli was third in the championship, but only picking up a point here at Canada.
Yeah, so here is the results from this race. James O'Connor makes it 3 victories for TGP1 drivers tonight, and it's the 4th different winner in the 4 races. Mike Noon comes home second, then we've got Johners in third, LMC Josh in 4th, Northants in 5th, then we have Roy in 6th, Elite Shots in 7th, Danskar in 8th, Bazza in 9th, and Chiapelli in 10th. And Breezer there didn't finish last in this race, Joe.
I am shocked. 11th place, still not in the points. I'm not sure if he's got a point yet tonight. I don't think so, but small steps, he's improving.
Yep. So, we're going to go with our 4th award of the night, which is Quote of the Year. So, do you have the nominations to read out for us, Joe Sayer?
I do indeed. We've got Kuman. He was very impressed when Fortnite introduced this feature. He said, "Oh yes, auto run. Now I can drink my beer while playing." We've got Jonas helping a poorly armed Andy on Fortnite. He said, "You want a real weapon? I'll give you a real weapon." Not sure what he meant there. Dom, after kicking Arctic Devils from a Fortnite lobby to get Billet in, only for Billet to leave after 1 game. You busy, Arctic? We've got Jack, after Joe played the Antiques Roadshow theme in a TGP Cars lobby. The only antique in this league is Phil. Quite harsh. Bazza, after his baby didn't arrive during TGP's finale night, he said, "False alarm, baby not coming. What time does the race start?" We've got John describing Kim as tinnitus with a drinking problem. And we've got Kim saying, "I speak English, German, Danish, and Swedish when I am drunk."
So, the winner is Joe Sayer. We will announce that now. Drum roll, please. And the winner for Quote of the Year is Bazza, with his quote about his baby not coming. He went, "False alarm, the baby is not coming. What time does the race start?" So congratulations, Bazza. You have won Quote of the Year, and hopefully the baby does come, or it has come already. Do you know any news on that, Joe?
Yes, that was the TGP2 Season 20 finale back in the summer, so back in July.
Okay.
I'm not sure what was going on. I don't know whether his wife or other half went into labour, but it was a false alarm, and I think he managed to join our lobby just in time for the second race.
Okay, so we're getting ready to go for the 5th race of the night here in Austria. John is leading the championship by 10 points over LMC Josh. It's looking very quickly like a 2-horse race here in No Pain No Narain Season 7 between Johners and LMC Josh. 2 TGP1 drivers. John is a former champion. LMC Josh only joined last season, I believe, but picked up a few race victories, didn't he, Joe?
Yeah, it was a number of winners in TGP1 last season. The most, I think the joint most for several seasons. So that was very good to see. I hope we can see more from him next year.
Yeah, hopefully we can see more from him next season, indeed. Hopefully we'll be able to attend more races, try and do a full campaign this time round, and challenge, well, maybe not potentially Softy, because Softy might potentially be missing next season, Joe, because that could be a big blow for him.
That would definitely open up the season if he were to be there, but I'm sure he'll make at least some of the races, and we'll see him on the top step of the podium at some point.
Okay, so ready to go here in Austria. The 5 lights will be coming on now. It's Dan the Man and Bazza on the front row even. 5 lines are on, and we are away here in Australia. I am messing up. Austria. Right, I am messing this up big time as we head into turn 1, Joe. So I'm going to let you talk for a little bit.
Yeah, well, we've got Dan the Man pulling away at the front from pole position. We've got several cars going off at the back. Just trying to see who we've got. Roy going side by side with Mr. John on the run up to turn 2. We've got Dom Smith there as well. Roy drops back. He knows he's not going to get past John with Dom there. Any carnage going on behind. We've got Elite Shots. LMC got Bazza in the wall. He's round and in the wall. Did you see what happened there?
Yes, I did see what happened there. He just got on the power too early on the exit of turn 3, I believe it is, and just spun the wheels up, spun into the wall, and he's down at the back of the field now. Dan the Man's pulled out a 1.8 second lead already, and everyone seems to be stuck behind Danskar in P2.
We've got Elite Shots and Jonas going side by side in the sector 2. Jonas has managed to climb up to 8th position.
Yeah, so Jonas making
next
up
on his radar will be James O'Connor.
Yeah, next on his radar will be James O'Connor indeed. We're going to watch Jovial Manatees getting close to the back of Dom Smith now. So he's currently running P5, Dom Smith in P4. He's got LMC Josh all over the back of him actually in this race. And yeah, a bit of a queue forming behind Dom, actually, I think it'd be best to say, rather than anyone else. Big dive there from James O'Connor. Goes off into the undergrowth. I think he's collected someone, rejoining the circuit. Yes, he has.
That was John's, that was the championship leader.
The championship leader has been collected by his friend James O'Connor. That's going to make an interesting party chat afterwards, isn't it, Joe?
It will indeed. Both drivers now out of the points positions, and who? Sorry, I can't remember who was in second place in the championship. Was it Roy?
LMC Josh, who's currently in P6.
LMC Josh.
Yeah, so it's 10-point lead. So at the moment, it would be down to 2 points.
That'd be good to see if we reach the half point.
Make that down to equal on points, as LMC Josh passes his teammate and goes up into P5 in this race. Headed on to the final lap, a very quick circuit, very short lap here in Austria. That's the whole point of these races though, quick, fun, short races, lots of action, and let's see what we go in the end of season. Bit of fun that is, no pain, no reindeer. Dan the man crossing the start-finish line to start the final lap. We've got a bit of a battle there between two TGP1 titans, shall we say. I believe that's Mike, no, this TGP2 and TGP1, I'm sorry, I have to correct myself. Mike Noon all over the back of Chiapelli, and we've got Northants lurking in the background as well.
Just watching this battle too. All cards slightly spread out at the moment, although we have got Mike pulling alongside Chiapelli. Chiapelli will hold the inside line, runs wide, breaks too late, and that'll be Mike through. And can Martin get through as well? The cyber flood, and Chiapelli on my screen turned in on him. I'm not sure whether he knew he was alongside him, and Martin is dropping back. He's got a bit of front wing damage, and he's currently in 10th position, just ahead of Ethel Kim.
Yeah, meanwhile, further up the field, we've got side by side Dom Smith and LMC Josh coming through the middle sector. And LMC Josh has got the move done on the inside of that fast sweeper. Fair play to him. Roy's going to sneak up the inside of the other fast sweeper. So Dom's going to get mugged by both Toro Rossos in two fast sweeping corners in the middle sector. We're going to go to Dan the man now, who's coming around the final couple of corners. And he's going to make it 5 different winners in 5 different races and win the 5th race of the night. 4 victories in TGP1, so they're getting absolutely marched out as expected, in all honesty, against the TGP2 drivers. Dan Scar's going to come home in 2nd, then we've got Mr. John in 3rd, LMC Josh in 4th, and Johners out the points, meaning that, let's see where Johners is on the circuit. Johners is just coming across the line now as everyone has finished up, meaning he has a 2-point lead now, LMC Josh.
That's very good to see. John has been leading the championship since the start, but as we come out of the halfway race, LMC Josh has snatched first place from him.
Yeah, so here are the final results from the 5th race of No Pain No Narain. Dan the man wins from Dan Scar in 2nd. Then we got Mr. John in 3rd, LMC Josh in 4th, Dom Smith in 5th. Then we have Jovial Manatee, aka Roy, in 6th, Mike Noon in 7th, Mr. Chiapelli in 8th, Elite Shots in 9th, and Martin Northants rounding out the top 10. We've got Red Bull Kin on the outside looking in 11th place. Then we have James O'Connor and Johners and Bazza, and then any other finishers. I will not scroll down because we've only got 5 seconds left for the timer, and we're ready to go to announce the 5th award of the night. So please announce the nominations for the 5th award, Achievement of the Year. Joe, say it.
Yeah, Achievement of the Year, we have got TGP2 CJ racing back to P2 in Monaco after his TV turned off for a full 20 seconds. That was quite a drive from him. We had Martin somehow managing to DNF at just 27 miles an hour on the inside of Lowe's hairpin at Monaco. And we've got yourself, Owen, managing to get stuck on pit exit at Silverstone.
Right, so get the drum roll ready, please, Joe. I hope it isn't me.
Here we go.
And the winners of the award is a tie between me and Martin. Martin for somehow managed to DNF at 27 miles an hour at the Lowe's hairpin in Monaco, and for me to getting stuck in the pit lane at Silverstone on the pit lane exit and getting disqualified for blocking the pit lane. So not one of my highlights of the day, shall we say. And Martin, I don't think, is too proud of his. Yeah, don't think Martin's too proud of his one either. As we go to the championship standings, Josh is leading from two points ahead of Johners. Then we have Danskar battling with Jovial Manatee and Roy and Chiapelli for 3rd position. Only 4 points covering them and 2 points the gap at the top, isn't it? So how do you think Germany, this 3-lap race, will go, Joe?
Well, it's quite I wouldn't say longest track, but there's not really many points where we're going to see a lot of carnage, potentially in the braking zone. going into the hairpin in sector 2, that'll be a key area of the track. But other than that, hopefully, turn 1 might be a bit chaotic, but I think we should see, we're settling down now, so the drivers are getting into their rhythm, and we should see a few less DNFs.
Yep. A bit of more space around here as well, compared to other tracks like Austria and Canada, the last two circuits, indeed. Bit more runoff, so less chance of people DNFing here in Germany, the Hockenheim Ring in Germany. Used to be a lot longer circuit, of course. Used to go off into the forest until 2002, where Tilke turned it into one of his famous Tilke-dromes.
Gotta love Tilke.
Yeah. Oh. Tilke is... Yeah. No, I don't think everyone really likes Tilke circuits, let's be honest. As we head ready to go for 5 red lights here, we've got Norpants and Elite Shots on the front row. John is down in 10th, LMC Josh in 8th, as lights out and away we go here in Germany. Let's see how everyone gets on. It's going to be Norpants leading, Elite Shots going around the first couple of corners. It looks like there's chaos there in the background. And John has got involved in an incident again by the looks of it.
John was in an incident with his, title leader, LMC Josh, who's down in second to last place now. I think they got caught up in an initial accident between Mike Noon, who pushed off James O'Connor into the wall.
Yeah, big accident indeed. We've got Elite Shots lurking on the background of Paul McGee. This is second. We've got a big dive there from one of the Renaults, and he pushes about 4 cars off with him. That means Jovial Manatee sneaks up into 4th place there. Then we've got Dom Smith and a bit of a queue behind him. We've got Dan Scott. We've got Bazza, the 2 Mercedes all over the back.
We've got 2 Mercedes.
Yeah. This could potentially be a championship fight, maybe in 5 years' time, between Renault and Mercedes. It'd be nice to see Renault battling for titles, but at this moment in time in real life, that's not happening. And we've got these lot battling over P5. Bit of a train, but let's see how that ebbs and flows.
And we've got Bazza man, we've got Dan the man in the gravel fighting for 8th place. I'm not sure what happened there. One of them seemed to spin on the exit off the hairpin, and we've got hit that off. I think it's Red Bull Kim in the wall. Kind of a domino effect through the stadium section. One car down, the rest collided into each other.
Yeah, I was about to ask you what was happening further down the field, and then you cleared that up for me, so thank you there, Joe. We got
LMC Josh, championship leader, pitting.
Okay, so got
made a complete hash of the pit entrance. He was in the gravel at one point.
Okay, that's not good to see. So this has been a bit of a disaster. But look, Jean's only making 2 points back at this moment in time. So it means it would be equal on points after round number 6 of No Pain No Narain. Biggest battle on track at the moment is Danska and Dom Smith battling over P5. Is Danskar going to make a move on Dom Smith, maybe around the outside of this corner in front of the Mercedes-Benz grandstand? They're going to be side by side. Does he get the move done? Yes, he does. He's up into P5, and that is a brilliant overtake there from Danskar, weren't it, Joe?
It was very good. I'm just keeping an eye on the front as well, because Paul was just a tenth of a second behind Martin going into sector 1. He's sensibly dropped behind as they negotiate these tight turns, but I expect to see him all over the back of Martin on the final lap.
Yeah, well, I'm on board with him now, and he's definitely all over the back of Martin. Martin does set the fastest lap that time, and that's quickly knocked off by Jovial Manatee in 4. So, heading towards the end of Sector 1. There's DRS this time round, and that's quite powerful on this circuit, isn't it, Joe?
It is very deep, especially where have we got the DRS on this? Is it just the final straight here? Is it anywhere else?
It's this main straight where the 2 leaders are on now, and we've got Paul, who's going to look to the outside maybe at the hairpin and then try and get the switchback, the whippity-wop flippity-flop. Does he get the whippity-wop flippity-flop? Yes, he does. They're side by side heading towards the Mercedes-Benz grandstand. We've got this quite fast kink. And does he get the move done? Yes, he does, but Martin's going to sneak it back up the inside. Bit of wheel banging, and Martin defends the position. That was robust, but very fair. Like we said earlier, elbows out racing from a lot of drivers tonight, but that's kind of expected with this short format. As we head round the final couple of corners, Paul's still within a sniff if Martin makes a mistake, and he gets very close there on the braking. Martin just got a couple of corners to go, and he's made a mistake, and Paul's backed out of it. They're side by side, the wheel banging, coming around the final corner. Paul's nicked victory on the final corner, making it 6 different winners from 6 races. He nicks victory and takes that from Martin, who'd led the entire race.
That was a brilliant drive. Paul knows this track well. He won. He's maybe had a couple of victories here in TGP1. He won here a couple of seasons ago. Roy managed to overtake elite shots on the final lap for the final podium position, and that was our closest race of the night so far.
Yeah, it definitely was the closest race of the night so far. 600ths of a second separating the top two. And Johnner's down in ninth with LMC Josh not scoring any points. We're still waiting for him to come round, actually. Just going to go on board with him now. He's come around the final corner. He's got Mike Noon all over the back of him. But with Josh not scoring any points and John getting 2, after 6 races, we have a tie at the top of the championship.
I've got to interrupt you there, Owen. I do have to point out we do have Red Bull Kim doing some of his trademark donuts down at the end of the long sweeping straight. Well, I say straight, the long curved DRS straight, and he's got going again. We're just waiting for him to finish now as he negotiates all the cars that have indeed finished.
Yeah, waiting for Red Bull Kim to finish this race indeed. Got to negotiate your way through the slow traffic now, so this is going to take a while. So we might as well introduce you to the next award of the night while we're waiting for Mr. Red Bull Kim to finish this race. And the next award of the night is Controversy of the Year. So we will announce that during the next break in the races, but letting you know that will be the next award announced tonight. So very few controversial moments this year in TGP 1 and 2 and in cars and possibly FIFA as well. All the TGP leagues, I've just named them all there for you. If you would like to get in touch and join one of these leagues over the festive period, it's a good time to do so. We're getting new games over the Christmas period. Everyone loves joining stuff, and why not join a league? New year, new you, ready for the new seasons of TGP. TGP Cars is the next league starting, but then we've got TGP1 and TGP2 restarting in March, April, I believe, Joe?
Yeah, we've got TGP Cars in January, and then the Formula 1 League will return towards the end of March, beginning of April.
Okay, so quick rundown of the results. We've got Paul McGee taking home the victory. Then we've got Martin in second, Jovial Manatee in third, then Elite Shots in fourth, Dan Scott in fifth, then we've got Dan the Man sixth, Dom Smith in seventh, Chiapelli in eighth, John is in ninth, and Basil rounding out the top 10 here in Hockenheim, getting ready to go for round 7. And with your inside knowledge, do you know what circuit that is, Joe?
I do indeed. The next track will be Monza, so we're going to have another very quick track with some hard braking zones where we could see a lot of action. Okay,
so we've got Controversy of the Year. So would you like to announce the nominations, please, Joe Sayer?
Of course. First up, we've got Ginger Randy somehow drawing 3-all with Bullet in the TGP FIFA World Cup tournament to progress into the quarterfinals. That was very sceptical. Some were shouting match fixing, but I'll let you decide. We've also got the full Sports point system being fully implemented into TGP1 and TGP2. We've got commentator Mike not mentioning that Kim was doing donut separating because he had got the Platinum Trophy for F1 2018. Kim was furious after the race and even threatened to quit the league. And finally, we've got Jonas taking up smoking in recent weeks.
So you ready to announce the winner, please? Joe Sayer, drum roll, please. And the winner is... It's Jean-Luc Taylor taking up smoking. That was a surefire winner, in all honesty. No one expecting it from such an innocent young man, did we, Joe?
Not at all. You mentioned at the end of that race when we were looking for new drivers to sign up. New year, new you. Well, I would say the same words to John as new year, new you. It's never too late to quit.
No, it definitely isn't. We're getting ready to go for 3 laps round the Monza circuit. Very fast circuit. I'm getting my words mixed up, Joe. Okay, I'm having a mare. This is why I'm normally a co-commentator. Right, getting ready to go for Italy. Round the Temple of Speed. That was what I was going for. I remembered my line. Whose line was it anyway? Well, I remembered it was mine. So, heading towards Monza. Race 7 of No Pain No Narain, Season 7. We could have our 7th different winner of the night. 6 of the 7 winners have been from TGP1. We'd like to see another TGP2 winner tonight, wouldn't we, like?
It would be nice. It would be nice indeed. I think contenders, well, there'd be Luca, of course, and also Dan Scar. He's currently 4th in the championship. He overtook Luca after that race. So I think as long as they get a favourable grid, we could see them on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, that's key to it, is just getting the grid draw right. And we've got 2 TGP1 drivers on the front, 2 drivers on the front row. We've got Red Bull Kim
on pole.
Red Bull Kim on pole. He's delighted with that. Dom Smith in second, and the lights went out, and we're ready to go here in Monza. This could end badly or could end really well. We're heading towards the first chicane. Into the first chicane we go. We've got two very slow drivers, and there's contact.
Oh,
and there's someone round
at turn one for the second race running.
Yeah, but Red Bull Kim has maintained his lead, and where the hell he's gone?
He's got a second lead. He's absolutely shot off. There's a train forming behind Dom Smith. Paul McGee will be looking to get Dom into the second chicane. Here they come now. Looks down the inside. Thinks there to rob it, and
there's cars everywhere though.
All over behind them. John is in the gravel. Will he lose out? Yes, Chiapelli's now ahead of John's.
Yeah, Chiapelli ahead of John. We've got LMC Josh right behind John as well, and that's crucial for the championship, as Jonathan Ledyard would say, as they are battling over. Tied on points after 6 races.
Chiapelli's facing the wrong way. He went wide in between the two Lesmos. He was in the gravel and he was dropped from just having overtake John as 4th. He's now in an unlucky 13th.
Yeah, as we see Dom Smith causing a bit of train. He's got 3 TGP1 drivers all over the back of him. John's making a move on Mr. Paul McGee. By the looks of it, no, he doesn't quite get the move done. We're going to watch on board with LMC Josh. He's looking round to the outside of the Parabolica. Can he maybe go all the way around the outside of the Parabolica? It'd be a bold move to do so, but doesn't quite have the grip out there. Jean gets a slide on, and he loses a position to LMC Josh because of it, and maybe a position to Roy as well. We're going to have Paul go round the outside of Dom Smith, heading down towards turn number 1. Red Bull Kim shot out to an amazing lead though. Fair play, Red Bull Kim.
Here's Paul McGee going side by side with Dom through the first chicane. I think he might have got the move done there. He has indeed, so he's now up into second. Red Bull Kim he's had maybe made a little bit of an error. His lead's dropped to under a second now. Paul McGee will be looking to reel him in.
Yeah, Paul McGee. Has he won a race tonight so far? Has he, Joe?
He won in Germany, the previous race.
Oh, the previous race, of course, yes.
Here Jonas is through on Dom after the second chicane, and now Red Bull Kim has got Paul and Jonas all over him. Or he will do imminently, so...
Yeah.
Oh, I really hope he can hold on, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, it don't look like it's happening so far. Red Bull Kim is under pressure from Paul McGee. He's going to look to the outside round Ascari. What's Red Bull Kim going to do? And he made that quite easy for him actually. Yeah, I thought he'd try a bit more. Red Bull Kim gets a slide on. He's demoted himself down to P2, and now Jean looks like he's going to pass him and get up into P3. I thought Red Bull Kim would be a bit more feisty than this, wouldn't you, Joe?
I did. He's dropped to 3rd now. He was leading for the first 2 laps, but got Dom all behind him now. I think Dom might be maybe a little bit more lenient for Kim, but Paul and John as TGP1 drivers, they all want nothing but the win here.
Yeah, well, Sean's looking for a move up the inside of Paul McGee, and Sean looks like he's taking the lead. The side by side.
Paul and LMC. Oh my.
Well, Sean's taking the lead.
Turn 1.
LMC Josh is all over the back of Paul now. He's going to be trying to take that P2, but it looks like we're going to have our first double winner of the night. And is it going to be Sean Paul, or is it going to be LMC Josh? LMC Josh down the inside in the chicane. Is he going to get the move done? They're still side by side, and LMC Josh, second in the championship, goes second in this race, with Jean leader of the championship, well, tied on points, but he will be leading after this race.
LMC Josh was 5th going into this lap, but he got past Dom and Red Bull Kim into turn 1, and now he's got past Paul, and he's into 2nd place. Yeah,
meanwhile we've got Roy diving down the inside of Dom Smith, heading towards the Ascari corner, and he's got the move done, and he's up into P4. We've got Paul and LMC Josh still battling over that 2nd spot. Is Paul going to try and claim back 2nd place? Jean looks like he's got the win in the bag as he heads round the Parabolica for the final time. We've got LMC Josh, I think he's just about going to hold on, but it looks like we're going to have our first double winner of the night. It's Jean-Luc Taylor, the man who's taken up smoking. He's going to win the race in Italy. We got Joe Gilman.
I've just seen Red Bull Kim rounding the Parabolica side by side with James O'Connor there. They banged wheels. James went on the grass, but Red Bull Kim in the end holds on to what is 8th place.
Yeah.
Oh no, he must have had a penalty because he's finished ahead of James, but he's dropped back a couple of positions.
Yeah, definitely dropped back. We're waiting for Basil to come and finish this race. It won't be too long now, hopefully. Just waiting for him to come across the line. Where is he in this race? Oh, there you go. He's crossed the line now as we were just trying to find where he was on the ticker. But after 7 races, we have our first double win of the night with Jean-Luc Taylor, and hopefully he'll go have a victory cigarette now as he wins the race. So Jean-Luc Taylor wins from Paul McGee. Then we have Roy in third, Dom Smith in fourth, LMC Josh, big dent in his title hopes. He's now 15 points back from Jean, the championship leader. Then we have James O'Connor in sixth, Mr. John in seventh, Red Bull Kim drops down to eighth after starting in second position. Then we have Dan the Man in ninth and Martin in 10th. So, getting ready for our next award of the night, which is Dumb Moment of the Year. I'm just going to go through that quickly. So, Joe, announce the nominees for Dumb Moment of the Year.
We've got 3 nominees for this award. First up, Phil for reversing onto the racing line and crashing into Paul, who was on a lap in TGP1. We've got Mike Noon, thinking Valentine's Day was February the 13th. He's made that error twice this year, so that's pretty dumb. And we've also got Jack Pearson losing 2 race victories on the same night due to corner cut penalties, giving Martin the TGP2 driver's title.
So, the winner of the award for Dumb Moment of the Year, drum roll please, Joe Sayer. And the winner is Jack Pearson for Dumb Moment of the Year. That was for losing 2 race victories in the same night due to corner cut penalties and handing Martin the TGP2 driver's title. So Jack Pearson, professional bottler by trade and also professional crayon player. Crayon player? That doesn't sound right at all.
I know what you mean.
Well, everyone knows
he plays with crayons.
He plays with crayons.
He gets paid to play with crayons, basically.
Yeah. There's a gif out there probably of his Christmas party and everyone's dressed up in Crayolas. But Jack Pearson, congratulations, you have won Dumb Moment of the Year. That isn't surprising at all.
I was his teammate that season, and I have to say I was not impressed. It didn't just cost him the Drivers' Championship, it cost the pair of us the Constructors' Championship, so I will never let him forget it.
So, he definitely will not be able to forget that in a hurry. We're getting ready to go for the 8th race of the night. Only 3 races to go. It's a 15-point lead for Johners, and Roy's suddenly brought himself into play. He's only a point behind his teammate, LMC Josh. Ready to go for 8th race of the night round Singapore here in No Pain No Narain. So, predictions here, Joe.
Well, once again, with the random grids, it could be anyone to play for. I think John is going to finish up there. Even when he's started down in the midfield, he's managed to claw his way back up to the top, just as he did in Italy there. Hopefully LMC Josh can top him here and, not like that. Hopefully he can finish ahead of Jonas here and claw in the championship fight.
So, getting ready to go here for Singapore. It's race number 8 of the night, as we've mentioned about 4 times in the last 30 seconds. Well, I know I have. I'm just going to repeat it again. 8th. It's the 8th race of the night. Just so I've got it ingrained in my mind, ready to go. We've well past the halfway point in this championship, and they've had their half-time oranges, but some of them might be having them a bit late, ready to go here in Singapore. Daytime race, unlike the Grand Prix in real life. Can we have another TGP2 winner, please? That'd be nice. A little bit of variety. So, the 5 lights are coming on here in Singapore. We've got Bazza and Dan the Man on pole. Ready to go. And the lights are out and we are away here in Singapore. It's a good start from everyone, most likely. Got a dive from one of the Toro Rossos. It's 5 wide. It's all a bit chaos further down the field. But Dan the Man retains his lead. Bazza going to be in third, with Dan Scott in second. James O'Connor battling with
there's been a
Bazza.
huge crash at the background. Sorry, Mr. Chiapelli's out. There's a Force India there. Johns is safe in 11th. That was Martin. I'm not sure what happened. I think someone lost it on the curb.
Okay. There's also, James suddenly shot up to third. He was battling with Bazza. Bazza dropped down massively there, and he's now battling with Dom Smith. And, oh, God, there's just a huge train behind Dom Smith again. Oh, it's LMG Josh. He stacked it in the wall. How's he managed that? He weren't under any pressure.
I was about to say, he was the biggest winner from the start. He'd gained 6 places. He was doing what he needed to do. He was well ahead of Jonas in the points, and he was just throwing it all away right there.
Yeah, definitely throwing it all away indeed. The main battle on the circuit is Dom Smith all over the back of Mr. John now. They're battling over P5. And Jonas is sneaking up the inside. once again coming, sticking to...
Oh, Dom pushes John in the wall, sorry, and
Yeah.
Jonas gets through on both of them down the inside.
Yep. So Jonas slipping through into 4th place. He's slipping up, he's sticking to the top 5 in the last couple of races like a nicotine patch, which he probably should take up, shouldn't he, Joe?
He should indeed. It may help him calm down on the circuit, but well, you would say that it's working at the moment. He's gained nine paces this race. Started 14th, sorry, I started 13th and up to 4th.
Yeah, up to 4th indeed. Doing very well. His next target will be James O'Connor, who's all over the back of Danskar, who isn't too far away from Dan the Man himself. Danskar is the main TGP2 hope in this race for another race victory. We'd like to see that. We're getting a bit sick of TGP1 drivers dominating. It was expected for them to do so, but it's nice to see the slower guys pick up race victories from here and there, isn't it, Joe?
It is indeed, as Dan Scarp comes down the inside of James O'Connor. I've lost visual. It's back. James O'Connor manages to stay ahead. Or no, has he gained a place?
Yeah, he's gained a place.
In 2nd place.
He's gained a place. James O'Connor moves himself up into 2nd place. Dan Scar into 3rd. And then we've got Jonas in 4th and Dom, who's now got Paul.
We've got Paul side by side with Dom.
Well, Paul's snuck past Dom and he's up into P5. We've got Jovial Manatee trying to make a move now and go up into P6 himself in his Toro Rosso. But a disastrous race for LMC Josh. And with Jonas in 4th, that puts the lead up to 24 points. And he's going to get overtaken by his teammate, Jovial Manatee, who's currently running P7 in this race. So not a good race, couple of races for Josh, is it?
Not at all, not at all. We've still got 2 races left, but you can't help but feel like this race has decided the championship. I would be very surprised not to see Jonas lift the trophy at the end of the evening.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised indeed. And he'll probably have a victory cigarette on that podium as well. A bit like the old school James, with James Hunt possibly doing so. So, heading round. We're just going to keep banging on about that, sorry, but it's so controversial, we have to.
Got a yellow flag in sector 2, I'm not sure who that's for. A slow Mr. John.
Okay.
He's just pitted and he's already got a damage shot when he gets here.
Okay, meanwhile we've got Roy having a look up the inside of Dom Smith into turn 1. Does he get the move done? Yes, he does. He's up into P6.
Very nice.
Dom is down to P7. And this is one of the least close races we've actually had tonight so far, isn't it?
It has, although we've got Mike Noon having a look up the inside of Red Bull Kim into turn 1. Makes it look very easy and he's through into 9th position.
Yeah, through
but
into
elsewhere,
9th.
as you say, all the gaps, there look to be at least a second between all the cars.
Yeah, there's quite big gaps tonight in this race around Singapore. I think it's the daytime conditions, not many drivers are used to it, and it's showing a 2 gap in the field. Quite a twisty circuit as well, so not providing something. Danskar's still sitting there in 3rd though, but he is getting clawed in by Jonas, but I don't think Sean will catch him before the end of the race, will he, Joe?
No, it doesn't look that way. Danskar, he's one of the quicker TGP2 drivers. I expect him to be fighting for the title next season. He's a good racer, so he won't give up 3rd place easily either.
I definitely won't indeed. We've got James O'Connor, he's actually clawing in on the teammate, but it looks like the team of the year are going to pick up 1 and 2 in this race around Singapore. Are they going to try and do a Rubens Barrichello and Michael Schumacher finish from 2002 USA? Probably not, but it's the team of the year picking up 1-2 here at Singapore in round 8 of No Pain No Narain. Dan the Man wins the race. James O'Connor's going to come home in 2nd. Dan Sky in 3rd. Jonas extends his championship lead in 4th. We've got Paul McGee coming home in 5th position with Roy coming home in 6th. We're going to have Dom Smith in 7th, Bazza in 8th. Mike Noon going to come home in 9th position. And we're going to have Red Bull Kim rounding out the top 10, picking up that solitary point. So what did you make of that one, Joe?
As we were saying, a little bit disappointing to see that it feels so spread out on the final lap, especially compared to some of the previous races like Germany and Italy where it was so close right to the line. But another good race, and it's nice to see the 2 Ferrari drivers on the top step. Just announced as Team of the Year, so very fitting. Yeah,
very fitting indeed. The next award that will be announced tonight after once we get the results, full results from this race, will be the newcomer to TGP of the year. So getting ready for that award. That'll be award number 8, and we've only got 2 more awards left tonight, haven't we, Joe?
We have indeed. We've got, as you said, newcomer of the year, and then just before the final race we will have personality of the year, so lots to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely a lot to look forward to. We're still waiting for a couple of guys to finish in this race, waiting for Mr. John and Breezer. Mr. John just coming around the final corner now. Is he doing some donuts? No, he's given up on the donuts. And Breezer coming around the final corner, completes the field.
Again.
But no, he doesn't quite complete the field. I think, yeah, he overtook Mr. John on the line. Yeah, he did.
Not sure what Mr. John was trying to achieve there, going so slow, but
yeah,
just having a bit of fun, I guess.
Yeah. So, from the 8th race of No Pain No Narain, we have Dan the Man winning from James O'Connor. Then we have Dan Sky in 3rd. John is in 4th. Paul McGee in 5th. Then we have Jovial Manatee in 6th. Don Smith in 7th. Bazza in 8th. Mike Noon in 9th. And Red Bull Kick picking up the solitary last point here. So that means that John is his lead. It was 15 over LMC Josh going into this race. It was 16 over Roy, and it's now extended to, trying to think my maths, it's now 20 over Roy. That is the championship lead. So it could be wrapped up this race. No Pain No Narain. Sean, all he has to do this race is outscore Roy by 6 points. So getting ready for the next award of the night. So, newcomer of the year. Joe, would you like to announce the nominees?
Yeah, we've got 3 nominees here, all who have made their TGP2 debuts this year. We've got Dan Scar, had a very strong race there at Singapore. We've got Erland, and we've got Jack Craig. Both of the latter 2 there can't be with us tonight, but good luck to them. So,
ready to go to announce the winner of Newcomer of the Year. Drum roll, please, Joe. And the winner is Dan Scar. Well done, Dan Scar. You have picked up Newcomer to TGP of the Year. Congratulations, Dan Scar. Currently sitting 4th in No Pain No Narain, and he had a very solid run in TGP 2 this season. I think he did about half the season, if I'm right, Joe, and picked up about
half the season. Picked up a win, and I think he came 3rd in the Constructors' Championship, so very solid performances, and he's definitely one to watch in 2019.
Yeah. So, run through the quick championship standings with 2 races to go in No Pain No Narain. We'll get ready for round 9 at Brazil. We've got Jonas leading by 20 points. He needs to outscore Roy by 5 points, depending on countback, but 6 to definitely do it in Brazil to secure No Pain No Narain Season 7. Then we have LMC Josh in 3rd on 82, Dan Scar in 4th on 77, and we have Dan the Man in 5th on 72. So ready to go for 3 laps round Brazil. So theories for this race, Joe Sayer.
Brazil, well, the TGP2 drivers will certainly be looking to have a cleaner first lap than they did here in the league last season. No, I say clean, it wasn't a dirt, as we saw earlier, moment of the year. TGP2 lap 1 here won that award. It wasn't dirty, it's just bad luck. Bossman Sean lost it in the wet conditions and caused utter carnage behind him. Yeah. We've got dry conditions here today though, so hopefully they should all get through lap 1 with their front wings intact and fighting for positions.
Yeah, that definitely was very reminiscent of Brazil Spa 98 as we get ready to go for round 9 of No Pain No Narain. 2 races to go, and Sean can wrap up the title this race. Hopefully he doesn't. We would like to see it go to the final race. No bias here at all, but we'd like to see it go to the final race. We've got
John is in 5th.
Yeah, John is in 5th. We've got Dan Scar and Mr. John locking out the front row. Ready to go here in Brazil. The lights are out and we are away here in Brazil. Coming in towards the centre S. Who's going to take the lead? It looks like it's going to be Dan Scar, followed by Mr. John. Yes, it is. Dan Scar from Mr. John. Can you keep an eye out further back for the time being? We've got Mr. John in 2nd. We've got Lead Shots in 3rd as they head down the straight. Like we said, all Jonas has to do is outscore Roy by 6 points this race, and the championship is his. But Elite Shots is in 3rd, and he's got Roy all over the back of him. He's actually ahead of Sean at the moment, Joe.
Yeah, special shout out to Breezer and Mike Noon. They managed to collide before we even reached turn 1, and that is why they are last and second to last at the moment.
That's fair enough. That explains that one then. Thank you for that, Joe Sayer. As we head in through the midfield section, this very tight and twisty section, we've got Martin all over the back of Roy. We've got Jonas all over the back of his teammate. And we've got James O'Connor.
And LMC Josh. James and LMC Josh collide. LMC Josh goes off wide, and he's I don't know what he was doing there. I think he's trying to do it on purpose. He might have been trying to take James O'Connor out. That is against the spirit of the evening.
Yeah.
But he's dropped down to last place now. Title hopes definitely over now, and lost his head a little there. But back to the front, we've got John as ahead of Martin now, but Martin's back ahead. They're fighting into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, fighting round the centre S, the two Force India drivers. You can just see it in the background. I think Jonas has taken the position. So he's up into P5. He needs to finish ahead of Roy to wrap up the title this time round by 6 points. We've got him in this massive scrap for P2 though, that Mr. John is at the front of. So what's Roy going to do? He's going to have a look round the outside of this corner on elite shots. I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off though, is he? And the answer is no.
It's getting very close.
Oh, a bit of contact between elite shots and Mr. John there, and that gives Roy the outside line. He runs wide, he gets a bit of a slide on, and that lets Jonas through. Jonas is up into P4.
Oh! Jonas collided with the back of elite shots, lost some of his front wing.
Oh,
and that has allowed Martin back through into 4.
Yeah, you've got to keep an eye on that. And Roy's been sent into Narnia. He's taken out the Sauber. Oh dear, it's chaos. It's chaos. Oh dear. It is absolute carnage.
We've got elite shots off. Chiapelli, elite shots is now out of the race. Front wheel is gone.
Yeah.
Chiapelli was caught up in that as well. He's so slow down the straight. Yeah. He's going to get absolutely mugged to turn 1. Going side by side with his teammate Dom Smith here. Still side by side.
Yeah.
Chiapelli looks like he's going to hold on, although Dom's still there. But no, Luca maintains his advantage.
Yeah. From the cause of that was
so we've got
basically
he rejoined right in front of Martin, and that puts Martin in the wall.
Yeah, what I was going to round up there quickly was the fact that Roy tried to sneak up the inside of the two Force Indias and just ran out of road, got pushed onto the grass, and he got sent to the inside. Can't slow down on the grass, sent across the circuit into the side of elite shots, and that just caused all that chaos. And because of all that chaos, Jonas is now in 4th. Roy's down in 13th, and that looks like No Pain No Narain will be wrapped up in this final race. Got Danskar taking a victory for TGP2, just won new car of the year, and he's going to take victory in race number 9. So round he goes, round the final couple of corners. Danskar wins the 9th race of No Pain No Narain, the second victory of the night for a TGP2 driver. Mr. John is going to come home in 2nd. We've got Paul in 3rd, James O'Connor in 4th, Dan in 5th, and Jonas is slowing up. Okay, Jonas is slowing up. He's going to come home in 7th place, which means he wraps up. No, he doesn't wrap up the title because Roy has come home in 9th. So the title is not quite wrapped up just yet, but it is basically all but done. It's now a 24-point gap between the two drivers into the final race. So the only way that it will not go Jonas' way is if Roy wins the final race and Jonas finishes outside the points.
Well, I have to say, after that race, we're seeing some of the drivers getting a bit crazy out on circuit, so it could well happen in Abu Dhabi. Jonas could well get taken out of the race, and if Roy wins, then he will be champion.
Yeah, Roy definitely looking to cause an upset in this race. Don't want to suggest dirty tactics, but he might have to resort to it if he really wants that win, but that could end badly.
Well, we've already seen LMC Josh in that race. We're not afraid of the dive bomb, so who knows what could happen.
Yep. So, newcomer of the year, Danskar, congrats to him on that, and congrats for winning round 9 of No Pain No Narain. He comes home in 1st. Mr. John making it a TGP2 1-2 in 2nd. We've got Paul McGee in 3rd, James O'Connor in 4th, Dan the Man in 5th, Dom Smith in 6th, John is in 7th, Red Bull Kim in 8th, Jovial Manatee aka Roy in 9th, and Mr. Chiapelli rounding out the top 10 with Mike Noon in 11th, Bazza in 12th, and Breezer rounding out your finishers. So, getting ready for the final award of the night. It is going to be Personality of the Year for TGP. So who are the nominees, Joe Sayer?
Nominees for Personality of the Year 2018. We've got Paul McGee, Red Bull Kim, Mr. John, Dan the Man, Aidan Griffins, and Mike Noon.
And get ready with the drum roll, please, Joe Sayer. The winner is Red Bull Kim. Congratulations, Red Bull Kim. You are the personality of the year for 2018 in the TGP series. He is probably celebrating with his Viking helmet on, ready to go for the final race of No Pain No Narain here in the season 7 of No Pain No Narain dear. 3 laps around the Abu Dhabi circuit, and he's definitely going to be having a few beers tonight as well. I can assure you of that. So, any thoughts on what's going to happen in this final race? And actually, I look at it, Danskar is second in the championship, not Roy.
Man, he is a shot up the table there. He's just 7 points behind Jonas. Is that correct? It must be. I guess that's a lot.
No, it's 13.
No?
13.
13. Of course, yeah. Sorry, 13. Roy in third. It's getting a bit close in the midfield. We've got Dan the Man and NMC Josh tied on 82 points. That is for 4th place. So
yeah,
there's still a lot to fight for a lot of the drivers.
Yeah, but Danskar 13 points behind, needs at least a 3rd place to have any chance of getting John in this. John only needs, well, he only needs, how many points is that? It's 12. He only needs 4th place to secure No Pain No Narain in this, because that's 12 points and it's a 25-point gap. Roy's basically out of it unless Sean and Danskar DNF from this race as we head into Abu Dhabi, the final race of No Pain No Narain season number 7. So getting ready to go for the final race of season 7, No Pain No Narain. We are getting ready with the lights. It's going to be
John
an all.
at the back.
John is at the back.
Front.
Oh, that is very interesting indeed. Roy's in second, so that's a good opportunity for him to take the victory. We've got Haas just randomly parking himself in the wall. The lights went out, and Roy has taken the race lead straight off the bat from Dan the Man. Danskar is in third, and going to try and sneak up the inside and get himself into 2nd place. Doesn't quite get the move done though. We've got Bazza looking on his teammate.
Oh, it's been a huge crash at the back. Elite Shots has gone nose first into, I think that was Red Bull Kim, who was facing the wrong way, and that's absolute carnage. Yeah,
meanwhile they're 3 wide at the hairpin between Bazza, James O'Connor and Martin, and Mike Noon has snuck up a place there because of it and got himself up into P6. Danskar is in third, and with John is out the points, that is enough for Danskar to take the championship as it stands. You have to keep an eye on that indeed. So Roy's doing all he can. He needs a race victory to have any chance of securing it, but he's got Dan the Man all over the back of him, trying to take that victory off him. We've got Danskar running in third. We've got John is up to 11th now. If he gets points as it stands, what would that be? We have to do some quick maths, but he's down to 11th again. That'd be quick maths. At the moment, Danskar would win the championship by 2 points. No, make that 1 point as John sneaks himself up into P10. Meanwhile, we're on board with Dan the Man as they come through the hotel. Under the hotel.
Oh, Martin's in the wall, and that's going to give Jonathan another place. He got spun around there. Possibly got LMC Josh, I'm not sure.
It's gifted Jonas another couple of places, and that means Jonas is now in championship winning position in this race. With the way it's standing at the moment, Jonas will take home No Pain No Narain season 7 with that P8 finish. We've got Jovial Manatee doing all he can, with Dan the Man fighting all over the back of him. He's doing the best he can. He needs a win to have any chance of taking it, but with Danskar in third, that's definitely at least denying him of that. And John is in 8th, is denying Danskar of the title. So, watching Dan the Man, runs wide coming out the hairpin now. There's a few close battles going on, isn't there, Joe?
It's getting very close in the midfield. They were all constantly seniouring up in sector 3 on the last lap. A lot of drivers are missing front wing. They're all struggling to take the corners, and because of that, they're starting to spread out at the back. Here we come down the main straight, and they're all closing up again into the DRS braking zone. And we've got Jonas there trying to go down inside the pool. I think he's making moves.
Well, no, not quite. Actually, Paul's going to get him back on the exit as it stands. So, yeah, Paul's got him back on the exit. Jonas is going to try and hang it round the outside, get it round the outside through this weird final section. We've got a mistake from Danskar, actually. He's dropped himself down to 4th. Mike Noon's up into third, and that's definitely putting Dan Scar out of contention as it stands. And Dan the Man has taken the lead of this race, so it's all falling into place for Johners to take home No Pain No Narain Season 7.
Yes, indeed. He's currently in 7th place. He's being hassled by Paul McGee still. Under the hotel they go. Paul runs a little bit wide. That makes the Johners a little bit more breathing room. As Dan Scar dropping back from Mike Noon.
Yeah, Dan Scar definitely dropping back from Mike Noon, but Roy hasn't given up the ghost yet on this race victory. Still all over the back of Dan as they head on to the final lap here in Abu Dhabi. Coming round this final first sector on the final lap, shall I say. Heading through this couple of corners towards the chicane now at the end of sector 1. Dan is just about holding on. This is probably the closest, well, the most meaningful battle on the track, should say, at this current time. Wouldn't you say so, Joe?
Yeah, it's getting, well, he will have DRS as they come down this main straight. Will he have DRS? He will do.
Yeah, he does.
And he's reeling down the man in rapidly. Down the man looks to come the inside. Roy goes to the outside, and he's made the move down before the corner. Can he get it stopped? He can, but down the man, looking for the undercut, can't quite make it. And Roy will pull away with DRS again.
Yeah, Roy, well, there's another detection zone, so Dan's coming back at him.
Detection zone.
Yeah, Dan's going to come try and go back round the outside of him, coming round into the final sector now, but Roy just does enough to hold on. And it looks like, as long as he don't make any mistakes in this final sector, gets a little shove from Dan there, as long as he don't make any major mistakes in this final sector, should come home and take the victory. Dan Scar's now dropped to 5th, with John is in 7th. That confirms the title for Johners as it stands. Just got a few corners to go. We're watching this lead battle now between Dan the Man and Roy as they head round towards this final couple of corners now. We've got Dan the Man still all over the back of Roy. Is he going to lunge it up the inside into the final corner? No, he isn't. Roy takes home the victory in the final race of the night in No Pain No Narain. Mike is in 3rd. LMC Josh in 4th. But Johners picks up P6. And with that confirms himself as Season 7 No Pain No Narain champion. Congratulations, Johners, one of the more competitive guys in the series, and he must be delighted with that, and he will light up a cigarette or 3 after that race, and he will start some chain smoking.
He will. He'll treat himself to some of the more expensive cigarettes tonight, I'm sure. None of the cheap Rothman Sterling rubbish.
Yeah, he might go to Benson Hedges, I think, or Marlboro. Actually, no, he's an F1 fan, he'll go Marlboro.
Definitely.
So, here is going to be the final results of the final race of the night in No Pain No Narain. Roy takes home the victory, but not enough to secure himself a title. Dan the Man in 2nd, Mike Noon in 3rd. Dan Scar did as best he can, but just couldn't keep up with the TGP1 drivers in front of him. Picks up 4th. And with that, misses out on the No Pain No Narain title. James O'Connor in 5th, the champion in 6th, Johners. Then we have LMC Josh in 7th, Paul McGee in 8th, Dom Smith in 9th, and Bazza rounding out the points in the final race of the night. So what are your thoughts on this, year in TGP, Joe?
It's been a very good year. We've had some cracking seasons of TGP1, TGP2, TGP cars. We had the TGP FIFA World Cup in the middle, so it's been a very fun year, and I think tonight has summed up the year pretty well. Fun, fast-paced, and I look forward to more in 2019 as we've got the final results here.
Yeah, final results. I quickly flash that up on screen. Like I said, Johners wins the championship as we get ready, to end the stream, I guess, and end a year in TGP. So thank you all for joining us, all the drivers, all the commentators, all the people that have streamed over the course of 2018 in TGP over the many series that are provided. If you'd like to join us, message Dom Smith, message TGP series on Twitter. Dom will get you sorted out and put you in the right place. But thank you for joining us in 2018 for TGP series. Hopefully we'll see you in 2019. Thank you for watching this stream of No Pain No Narain. Thank you for joining us for our end of year awards. And thank you and goodbye.
Till bis vor.